All right, I've had a lot of questions about my editing style and my shooting style, how I use certain equipment, and it's been so long since I've done a video that I've actually developed a new shooting style, a new arrangement, new, not totally new gear, but just a new setup that literally all summer long has been working great. And again, I haven't even had time to put a new video out. That's why I'm doing this screen share, and we're just going to go through exactly what I'm doing right now, and I've really simplified it. I have found that only one or two situations where I need to get out like an umbrella or something else to work with, for example, dark ceilings. You can't do this method unless you are using a shoot through umbrella. But this is the shot we're going to look at today. We got lights on, open floor. We got the kitchen. We got a room back here, so we have to light two rooms. So this is what I do. And let me just show you real quick. This is the new setup. All right, we are on that Olympus EM1 Mark II. That's Micro Four Thirds, and then I just put the Godox V1 on top of the camera on the hot shoot, and then I run with another Godox. This is the TT600. You actually could go with, and I recommend it if it's in your budget, to go with two Godox V1s, and the reason is sometimes I run TTL if I'm in a hurry. Sometimes TTL works, when it works, it's great because it's quick and fast. Anyways, that's getting off track. So, what I love about this the camera, the Olympus EM1 Mark II, is you can't see it, but behind here, I am on Custom 1. When I'm on Custom 1, that is my HDR bracketing mode. I shoot 3 brackets at 2 stops apart. And then all I got to do is turn the dial to Custom 2, and that's when I pop the flash. So this camera does not fire the flash if I am in HDR, if I'm in bracket mode on the camera, which is nice because you don't really want the flash to go off. So this is the setup I'm running. And again, I'll show you why you don't want the flash to go off on your blending or your ambient layer is because the camera or the flash on top of the camera can sometimes give you shadows around the ceiling fan. If that's the case, I just toggle off the V1 on top of the camera. So the Godox V1, a lot of you again have been wondering how to get it into trigger mode. In other words, you got to keep cycling this button here, the far one to the right, until you see your M, A, C, and D. M is master. That is going to be controlling your Godox V1, and right here is M, A, B, and C down here. If you keep pushing this, you will cycle through the M modes. Whatever mode you're on, it'll be manual or TTL or off. So you can just keep hitting this until you shut it off. That'll shut the flash off. It'll still work. The trigger will still work built into the flash, but you can then use your other flash, and I put a belt clip on it, and I just clip this to my belt so I can come off and on my belt with that. And then to adjust the flash setting for this, I make the flash off the camera on group A, and you just hit this button right here. It'll cycle through that. You hit this until it says M, and then you hit up and down here on the dial. You can either spin the dial or hit up and down on the dial to move your the flash power settings. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into this real quick here, and I'm going to show you how I edit this. So lights on. Again, this is lighting the whole entire room. This is with 3 brackets, and again, I've done my Leiwa. Well, no, I haven't done it on this one. Come down here. If you're using that Leiwa 7.5 millimeter, it will not give you. It will not automatically put in the profile corrections. You have to do that with this Venus Optics setting, and then come to model and click on Leiwa 15mm f2. There you go. And then I actually copy those settings, and actually the other thing I like to do, I've already done this, but I like to go from Adobe Color to Adobe Standard. So it just tones down the saturation a little bit more, which I like. I'm going to flag this by hitting number 1 on my keyboard. That means I'm going to bring this layer in. Sometimes I shoot a bunch of layers. I don't want them all. And that way when I'm done going through all these, I can just choose all the starred layers and then move it back in. So, did I... Let's see. I'm looking. Okay. Anyways, I got that backwards. This is the flash layer. Okay, so another good reason why I run with 2 flashes, this controls a flash in the room, and then I ran around the corner and popped this flash. You don't actually have to do that if you don't have a good ambient layer. I think I do. Let's just paste those settings in. That's going to brighten it up. I'll be able to use the ambient layer for the ceiling, which will be fine. But you can get a nicer blend usually if you're having the flash go off in the room you're showing, and then use the other flash to go around the corner and pop your flash off for that room. So let's bring these 2 layers in to Photoshop. And I'm not going to edit this. This is just real time. And I'm going to show you how to get correct color, how to blend these super fast so you can get on with your day. Because that's the thing that I've been struggling with, is taking too long editing these. You know, when you get busy, when you get 3 or 4 listings a day, you really need to come up with a fast solution. So, you know, a lot of times I will leave my HDR blend and that's it, depending on the room. Especially if there's no windows, then you can get away with just using your HDR blend. You don't have to do the Flambient method a lot of times. So here we are in Photoshop. Now, simplest solution is to just take and change that to luminosity mode. That looks pretty good to me. We need that window pull a little bit more. So all I'm going to do is create a layer mask. I'm going to leave it white because we have the flash layer underneath. We're going to make sure black is selected on top here. Go to our brush tool. I like to have my flow at 5%, opacity at 100, make sure. And then also check over here to make sure the hardness is at 0. And then we're just going to simply brush back in that flash to get that window pull a little bit stronger. And again, this might not have had that strong of a window pull. Sometimes I don't care. And again, you have to, you know, depending on the situation, the house, there was an addition built on, so that's really all you're looking at is the house on the other side. And that's it. I don't even bother flattening this anymore. I'm just going to go Command S to save it. And it saves it. We'll bring it back into Photoshop here with the TIFF file. I do my interior final bump there. And there you go. That's it. You can stop the video now, but I'm going to do one more for you. Let's just see here. What's this one? This is just a different angle. I'm going to paste those settings in, the profile corrections, and Adobe Standard. That's it. Let's see. I'm going to flag that as 2 now so I don't confuse it with the starred ones. Here is the flash layer. And again, I think, yeah, I shut the flash off that was on top of the camera. Here. I just shut this off by toggling M until that was off, and then I used just the flash and got it up high enough into the ceiling, somewhere right here, and you can tell that it fixes the shadows. The ceiling fan shadows are pretty much gone when you do that. Let me paste my settings back in here. I'm going to adjust my exposure. And again, you can bring those highlights down. There we go. There's the window pull. I could have done that on the other one. So really what I'm looking for here, if my ambient layer is pretty even like this, we just got to do correct color. That luminosity mode, that'll fix that. We have nice balance of light. And then we'll use the flash layer for the windows. Mark that as 2. Let's get these into Lightroom. I'll show you how simple this is. And this is really the longest part. And if my computer was faster, which I have an i9 processor, 8 core, but apparently the M1s, the new M2 or whatever from MacBook are a lot faster. This transition from Lightroom to Photoshop will be even quicker. See how long it takes. There, we're still real time here. So again, the faster your computer, the faster your workflow too, obviously. But that's just another thing to consider. You know. So once these load up, I'm going to show you again. We'll be able to, well, there's 2 methods. If my flash layer was clean, a lot of times I'll bring this to luminosity again and then just do a 50-50 blend. You know, you play around with it. Let's see if we go. Yeah, I like, give me more ambient light. I like that. And if you want that window pull stronger, again, we're just going to do that one layer mask, leaving it white, and then painting in. Just got to watch your shadows if you had any. We're just painting back in that flash layer underneath. That's it. Command S to save it. And again, I used to flatten these. It took too much time. Sometimes it takes longer to save it if you don't flatten it, in my experience. So it's a win-win. So if it's taking forever to save, I'll literally just come over here while I'm waiting. And then, where is the flatten? Flatten. And usually it saves a lot quicker. So once it gets back into Lightroom here, it's still saving over here, 99%. And again, if you have a faster computer, it's not going to be an issue. I always wait till that TIFF file comes in. And of course, I have to reboot my computer. And why sometimes it puts this black line there? It's only done that a few times. That is so weird. If anybody knows, leave me a comment why it does that. I'm going to do something here. We're going to maybe bring it back in. Let's see here. Come on. What it's doing here. I just want to show you how it looks with that final bump on there. Come on, MacBook, let's save this thing. Let's go. I haven't shut my computer down in a while. It's got to get rebooted. That helps to make it quicker. There we go. All right, interior final bump, and there you go. I flag it and move on. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions about running with that Godox V1 with the flash on top of the camera and that extra flash. Let me know what kind of camera you're using. I answer every comment. Again, we're coming and end of the busy season. I'm going to start releasing more tutorials, and I will get back to your comments as fast as I can. But again, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.